In the meantime, and not so long ago, essentially like 2 weeks, and we had the mini Kemper that we spoke about some time ago, and now Neural DSP sort of, got in the ring with a similar product. So their quad cortex has been a huge success in the world of amp modeling and capturing stuff. So Neural DSP came out with the Nano Cortex, which is the whole thing, but like squeezed into a smaller box, more friendly to people who need to be even more compact on stage. Let's see. Neural DSP has just entered the Stompbox realm with the Neural DSP Nano Cortex, a compact yet powerful amp and effects processor packing the much larger quad cortex top tier sound into a pedal that fits your hand. So I'm not sure if they use the same processing power. I have no idea. And I don't think it doesn't say. It just says like 2 gigahertz of Shark DSP power for quality tones. I'm not sure how that compares to the large version, but essentially the feature set seems to be sort of the same kind of thing where you can use captures and you can actually use this thing to capture. I've just seen a video from Ola England kind of capturing an Boss HM2 into it.
Okay.
Sounded great, functioned very well, was pretty easy to set up. And so now the question, what does it do? Okay, neural capture slots. Oops. 256 neural capture slots, 256 custom IRs, and 64 presets. Well, 64 presets should get you, through.
Look, anything short of 65 presets is bullshit. No.
You're right.
Yeah.
Let's trash this product.
Yeah, let's just hit it.
What else? 64 presets. Dual foot switch controls sound settings easily. USB-C functionality. You can use it as an audio interface. That's nice, especially for the size. If you want to record shit on a laptop. Gapless switching between 4 presets, etc., etc. 2 pre-FX block, adaptive gate and transpose, neural capture. Doop. What else? Edit, organize. Okay. Obviously, you have some sort of an editor. Makes it easier to, program all of that stuff. There are already a couple of guys. A lot of guys, actually.
Yeah.
The question is the price. I would assume it's somewhere along the lines of the Kemper. What was that? Let me see. So Nano Cortex. What am I? I'm not typing well today. Nano Cortex. What's the price?
It's the second episode. Let's give ourselves a little break here.
Yeah. So 569 euros in comparison to 1,586 euros for the big version. So that's like 1,000 euros of difference, which is, but then again, you don't have a display, you don't have a touch screen, you can't use this thing like an iPad to, do stuff. And what was the small Kemper called? Kemper Player, right?
I think it was a Kemper Player.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a bit of controversy around the Kemper Player lately too.
Really? Why that?
Yeah, apparently if you want to get the update, you have to pay for it.
What?
And it's not a small fee.
How, how much it was?
If I remember right, it was something like $200, maybe more.
No.
Just for the update. Yeah, it's like
for an update.
You shouldn't have to pay for an update. That just doesn't make sense to me.
And also it's more expensive. So the
Yeah.
Kemper Player is $700. So and it also doesn't have a display. Maybe it has more knobs and whatnot, but yeah. So, if Neural has definitely achieved one thing that's like beat them to the price. I found another article that kind of like asks the question, which one should you choose? The big one or the small one? What is this? That's Guitar World. And let's see if we can find some sort of like overview. Okay. So here's like a comparison sort of list. Obviously, the price is a huge difference. The Neural has 50 plus amps. The Nano has 25 factory, 256 user. That doesn't make sense. It's like that would be more. You have considerably less effects. If you look at like 70 plus and 5, you have 1,000 plus IRs, and you have 10 factory and 256 user IRs. It's like, man, when it comes to IRs, it's like once you found the ones you like, I think you can narrow it down to less than 10, to be honest.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Easily. In a lot of cases, you don't even need more than 5. You're fine with
using. Yeah. If you're using that many IRs, get yourself checked. There's something not normal with you. That doesn't make any sense. No, that's too many.
So the big one has a looper, the small one doesn't. The big one, as we said, has a multi-touch screen. The small one doesn't. There's no Wi-Fi in the small one, which, who needs Wi-Fi and an effects pedal, to be honest? Because they both have Bluetooth. Yay!
Yeah.
And then the weight. That's interesting. So almost 2 kilo for the big one, 2 kilos, and 0.6 for the small one. It doesn't seem to be that much of a difference if you look at the size comparison. This Nano version looks so much smaller, yet 600 grams. So
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Connectivity.
Who do you think? Who do you think the Nano version is intended for? Because the way I'm seeing it right now, just looking at the stats, it looks like the bigger version, the Cortex, would be for someone who wants that all-in-one solution. So the pedal does everything, while the Nano seems to be a little more like the Line 6 HX Stomp, where you would have that being like the main hub, like your, I guess you would say like your amplifier. And then you could use other pedals with it. So it wouldn't be like the end-all, be-all pedal board. It'd be just like part of your other pedals. Do you see it that way?
Yes. I think there is I think you're right. I think that theory makes a lot of sense. But we can even take it to a way more profane sort of level. I think it's I think it's intended for people who don't have the money to get the big one, but they want like at least some chunk of the feature set, the capture technology. And I mean, since everything, like all of these things work with an editor. So in the end, it's for average Joe, what's the difference? They can still get that same sort of sound out of it. And since the small version has, and in looking at the data, it tells me that the processing power is obviously less, might be just a third of what the big one does. So to me, that's just like, okay, that's why there is a limited capacity for stuff to load into, such as effects and whatnot. And then if you look at the connectivity, I mean, that's the story. Input, output. expression pedal, headphone out, as they said, USB-C for some sort of connectivity. And then it says there is a Combi XLR input side of the unit. Okay. So it has more connections on the side.
Okay.
Yeah. So it says, obviously, if you're going with pure numbers, the Quad Cortex takes the win, obviously. But then again, if we look at the price difference and the form factor, it's intended for people who want some of that feature set, but they're unable to pay, what did it say, $1,850? Which is, it's a steep course. I mean, it's a lot of money for someone who, maybe just plays at home.
Yeah, for sure. And if we're to look at it from a different angle, if it's not just about money, it could also be about the feature set. If you don't need everything that the Quad Cortex gives you, right? If you're just using a very minimalistic approach, maybe this makes more sense. Like, I know that if you gave me the choice between, let's say, the HX Stomp and what's the bigger one from line 6?
Oh God.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how much I care about it.
The Helix.
The Helix, exactly. Yeah, so let's say the Helix and the HX Stomp. I wouldn't need the Helix just because it's got so much that it can do that I will never use. Like, I love the more tactile approach of just like getting down, just hitting a few knobs and that's it. I don't need like to feel like I'm in Star Trek and I'm looking at like the dashboard of a spaceship kind of thing. That's exactly. Not me. But for those that need all of that, that's great. So, but I find that the problem with companies is that they still have this approach where you have like the luxury item and then you have like what the poor people can afford. I think as long as we keep this approach in the music business, we're shooting ourselves in the dick because everyone's fucking broke. The guy that just bought the Helix isn't more rich than the guy who bought like the HX Stomp. One has more room on his credit card. That is usually the fucking difference. Yeah, right?
It's true.
But as long as companies keep this approach where this is like the luxury thing, this is our flagship, and this is just a little thing for the peasants. If you approach it this way, it's not the smartest move. But what I'm seeing here is that they're not doing this. Their approach seems to be, if you need all these feature set, you get it in the flagship model, but you can still get like really a powerful unit with great features for less money. You're going to have less features, but it's still great quality. That's what I'm seeing. And I like this approach much better than, okay, this is like the bottom of the line kind of thing. Just if you're poor, just buy this. And don't expect it to sound too good, because if you want the good sound, you need to buy the big one.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be the case here. What I can definitely see happening is, as soon as this thing hits the market, you might see prices of the Quad Cortex on the used market coming down a bit, because now, like, people can afford that sort of technology and the feature set they need, and people who want to get rid of theirs, they probably can't ask that much money for it anymore. So anything else that stands out of here? Sounds
I think one of the things that does stand out to me is for the price point. You have the capture feature with the Nano, while the Kemper Player doesn't have it, as far as I know. You have to get your captured sounds and load them on there.
Gotcha.
But as far as I know, you can't capture sounds with the Player version.
So it's like a playback machine, essentially.
Yeah, but basically it's like you load your presets and you can go to town and play your gigs and all that. But as far as I know, unless I'm mistaken, the Player doesn't have the capture feature, while this guy does for less money. So that's something else to consider.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. If the Kemper doesn't have that, then that's a big miss on their end. And it seems to be a good move from Neural that they apparently waited with the release. If that was intended, I'm not sure.
Yep. But if I'm mistaken, someone please correct me in the comments. Just let me know. But from the top of my head, I remember that was. It seems to me that used to be one of the features that people were complaining about, like no capture. I might be wrong, but we'll see.
Right.